During today's press briefing with the President on August 28, 2014, the President outlined a few key points. First, the issue of Syria and Iraq and terrorist operations. Second, the crisis in Ukraine with Russia. Third, the overall economic outlook. And fourth, immigration reform. Please listen to the following excerpt from today's press briefing closely.
And your executive decision-making going to impact your decision on immigration reform? Some people say you're going to delay it.
Let me just say this. I've been very clear about the fact that our immigration system is broken and needs to be fixed. And my preference continues to be that Congress act. I don't think anybody thinks that Congress is going to act in the short term, but hope springs eternal that after the midterm elections they may act. In the meantime, what I've asked Jay Johnson to do is to look at what kinds of executive authorities we have in order to make the system work better. And we've had a lot of stakeholder discussions. That set of proposals is being worked up, and we've had a lot of stakeholder discussions. That set of proposals is being worked up.
I replayed that section a few times for you. He clearly referred to the term stakeholder as in stakeholder meetings. This is a very odd statement given the national security issue at stake here. According to the dictionary, a stakeholder is the holder of the stakes of a wager, or a person or group that has an investment, share, or interest in something, as a business or industry, or in law a person holding money or property to which two or more persons make rival claims. Please note, he did not say that he met with constituents or the general public, but rather, stakeholders. This is important, because it changes the scope of the nature of his meetings, and their purpose. So who exactly are these stakeholders? Clearly, as Americans, we should all be aware of who they are, correct? It is not that simple. Let's take a look closer at who these stakeholders are. The stakeholders in the context of his speech are those who have a vested financial interest in seeing to it that their financial interests in America are not disturbed or outright disrupted or abolished completely. This all falls under a fifth-tier visa program known as the EB-5 Immigrant Investor Visa under the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. There are other visas which are more preferable. However, it appears the President is spending an extra amount of time protecting the EB-5 visa program. Why? Let's take a closer look. Obama was initially expected to focus only on slowing deportations of potentially millions of undocumented immigrants and altering federal enforcement policies. Now top aides are talking with leaders in big companies like Cisco, Intel and Accenture, hoping to add more changes that would get them on board. Representatives for high-tech, agriculture and construction interests have put forward a range of fixes, from recapturing unused green cards to tweaking existing work authorization programs. Representatives from Oracle, Cisco, FWDUS, Microsoft, Accenture, Compete America and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce were among those present at a wide-ranging August 1 session that went through a list of asks for the tech sector that would involve rulemaking. Behind closed doors, Obama crafts executive actions. According to the New York Times, when President Obama announced in June that he planned to bypass congressional gridlock and overhaul the nation's immigration system on his own, he did so in a most public way, a speech in the White House Rose Garden. Since then, the process of drafting what will likely be the only significant immigration changes of his presidency, and his most consequential use of executive power, has been conducted almost entirely behind closed doors, where lobbyists and interest groups invited to the White House are making their case out of public view. Mr. Obama's increasingly expansive appetite for the use of unilateral action on issues including immigration, tax policy and gay rights has emboldened activists and businesses to flock to the administration with their policy wish lists. It also has opened the president, already facing charges of executive overreach, to criticism that he is presiding over opaque policymaking, with the potential to reward political backers at the expense of other interests, including some on the losing side who are threatening to sue. Administration officials have convened more than 20 so-called listening sessions this summer alone on executive options for revising immigration policy, a White House official said. declining to discuss the sessions in detail because the conversations were private. Technology companies would like Mr. Obama to provide more visas for their workers, or at least more flexibility for them and their families as they await green cards for permanent residency. Consumer groups and organized labor want the Treasury Department to act on its own to limit financial incentives for companies that move overseas for tax breaks and stop so-called inversions. Democratic lawmakers are joining in as well, asking the president to act on his own on their pet issues. So the question really is the president really looking out for national security as he has stated is his main priority, or is he once again looking to protect those with the deepest pockets and those that hold the keys and the wallets to the next president of the United States? I think the answer is clear. Big business wins once again.